Hello everyone, welcome back to Milkshake. I am your host along with support puppet Mr. Chicken. Yeah, look, he's showing you just a piece of his legs. Oh, sexy. It's like wearing a sundress and lifting it up and just showing your thighs. Okay, so today I want to talk about ignoring red flags, but from my perspective of ignoring red flags because I like toxic dudes. So I do know what it feels like ignoring red flags or wearing rose-colored glasses. Because if you grew up in an environment that was chaos, you had your own dealings with a parent who was an alcoholic or who was emotionally or physically absent, whatever the hell, when somebody, and maybe even you, telling somebody about your past or things that happened with another partner are red flags, but your person even overlooks this stuff. Okay? All right. So I'm not going to discuss how things are like deviate. I'm just saying the things that we talk about that, I don't even have an emotional attachment to when I'm telling you about my red flags, even if it's on purpose to let you know that this is what could happen. I'm not telling you things like this is going to happen, even though in the back of my mind it could. Because in every new relationship you get into, you don't know how you're going to jive. So I never, think, I don't want to say never, but, I'm not thinking I'm here to destroy you. I'm just saying I ain't normal. Okay. So when somebody who is talking about their own red flags, which is just a historical document, they're saying it in a calm way. They're talking. They're just having conversation. There's things that you can see that you're overlooking, like somebody who drinks too much, or somebody who is a drug addict, obviously. Even if it's like, oh, well, it's not meth. They're not shooting up heroin, but they're smoking weed every fucking day. That's not cool either. I've heard lots of cluster bees say, well, this is my medication. This medicates me from whatever. You're also not present and you're pushing down any emotions that you do not want to see. When I don't drink for a long time, I start feeling my feelings. I don't fucking like that shit. All right. So there's some things that I've noticed in the past with my people, and I'm gonna tell you, and I just did not care. It did not bug me because they were talking about something that they did. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, well, maybe, because you're so aware of these behaviors, you're not going to do them anymore. This is like trick of the brain. Now, remember, I'm not thinking about me and my own red flags. I'm thinking about this dude because I'm looking, watching, critiquing, judging. Okay? So, my ex-husband one time would talk about his road rage when he was younger. Now, I met him when he was like 25, turning 26, and he's talking about when he was 21. Now, this is only a few years prior, but I'm thinking, well, you're talking about it, so you know that you're aware of it, and you know that that's dumb. Wrong. He may have thought of this as a superpower, being a bully in some way, where he said he had so much road rage that he even jumped out of the car and pulled somebody else out of their car. He would talk about how he would bully other people, getting out of the Marine Corps and having such a boosted ego, telling people to get out of their seat so he can take their seat. He would talk about beating up other people at parties, but this time he was protecting his best friend. And this is the thing about narcissistic people, my ex-husband was also narcissistic, is that we don't just bully, but we have been bullied. So we will also protect those that are closest to us by bullying other people, or in our minds, protecting what's ours. So you get this little contradiction going. Okay, you're a bully, but you protect people. Okay, well, I'm just going to see the good stuff. And because you're bringing it up, that means that you learned from the bad, right? But then later on, you see that your partner starts to bully you. That doesn't really work out with me, but, you know. Anyway, so then we have yelling at other people, situations, memories, and thoughts. They can talk about other people in a very heated discussion with you. Now, it's not pinpointed at you, but they're still upset about the past. Now, this doesn't have to be being upset about another person, which means if they have that much emotion over a past person, they still haven't grieved that person. There's still an emotional attachment to that person. Whether or not they want to get back with that person is, you know, in the fucking smoke, in the shadow. You don't fucking know. You don't know if this person comes back and is, oh, and they'll be like, oh, okay, and then they leave you in the dust and everything. The fucking red flag, okay? But them getting upset over, you know, the parental unit, siblings, old friendships, things like that, we know that they can't grieve. They know that you cannot grieve them. So they can have arrested development to where they no emotional intelligence past the age of 5 years old. So, you know, I'll bitch about my motherfucking family. But I will also joke and have very dark humor about the abusive environment that I grew up in. You may not see it as a red flag because I can make jokes about this thing. Fucking all Gen X make jokes about their past and being beat up and shit when they were kids. So, you know, it seems like we do not have a strong emotional attachment in a negative way towards it, but jokes are just covering. Jokes are covering what's going on underneath. You know, the raw emotion underneath, we're pushing that shit way the fuck down and trying to bury it away. This is why when we toss shit at you, we are fucking joking in dark humor, but not always. We could envy you and we're trying to rip you apart covertly. I ain't making excuses, but I'm just saying we're talking about the red flaggy thing with people who are trying to hide their emotions. Or even acting like it's not a big deal, like I said, because it's just a past event. So this other dude that I was dating for a second, he was talking about how he got angry with his dog and caused his dog emotional distress. And he said because his feelings were all dysregulated and everything, and he was upset and he took it out on his dog, which he learned from that point on. But he also told me that he is very reactive. And I'm fucking reactive too. Did I see this as a red flag? No, I was like, oh, you're like me. But I didn't see that this is going to be some toxic, you know, horror show later down the road when we can't communicate. We're going to be reactive from things that we say to each other. I knew this, just kind of like a hazy thought that passed by, but I was just like hyper focused on, just, okay, check that off, move on. What else do we need to know about this person? Then there's, what else? I don't know. There's so many, Mr. Chicken. But, one time, an ex told me about getting into a fight with his ex-wife and that the cops were involved. And I'm thinking, now this happened a few times. I love toxic dudes. So one got the cops involved because they were having a massive, fight. He's punching stuff in his house and all this shit. The kids are there and everything. The cops come and he's calm. When the cops come, and his daughter is crying and he's picking up his daughter. The cop is like, pick up your daughter wants you. He's picking up his baby daughter and everything and having a calm conversation and stuff. And he manipulated the situation. He's telling me this. But he's telling me all kinds of things. Dumping the cat box on his wife when they got into a fight, masturbating to, his wife was jealous of a certain rock star or whatever. So to punish her when she came home, he was masturbating to this woman on TV. He's telling me all this stuff. And I'm just like, toxic fucking ice cream cone or something. Because I'm like, either I'm so in my grandiose state that nobody can, fuck me over because I'll punish you. Or I think that I can train this person into never doing these things to me. So I look past all this stuff till it's too late, right? But I look past these things. You guys may do this shit too by when they're talking about their exes. And that brings up another fucking ex that I had who was talking about his wife throwing water or a beverage on him when they were fighting. And I do know that my partner at that time, he could say things that can really get you angry. And if he knows how to emotionally compromise his partner, he's going to say things to trigger a response. So he says that he said something, she was enraged and threw something on, and he called the cops right away because he knew that things were going to escalate. It almost reminds me of when a narcissistic person is either, or worse, because narcissistic people usually don't gaslight. It's darkers that do that. And when they gaslight you and you're so fucking enraged that they just get away with all of this shit, they know that things are going to escalate, so they're going to get the cops involved, or they're going to start videotaping you losing your shit. This is why it's so important never to lose your shit. Never lose your shit. Nothing pisses off a toxic person the most is when you are non-reactive. I know, because when you're non-reactive, I'm pissed. So stay non-reactive. But he called the cops. There was some sort of report that went out. Months later, he tells me for him to get a specific job that she had to redact her statement that anything went down. It's like, why would she have to redact anything if you just called the cops so things wouldn't escalate? There was a fucking report? What? Now, I knew all this stuff and I'm calculating in my head, but I'm not going to bring it up. Why? Because I know motherfucker's going to lie. That's another thing. When you start realizing that somebody's going to lie, deny, gaslight, make up a new reality because you don't know, you were not there, You don't want to fucking hear it. So you're just not going to fucking say nothing. But know this about yourself. I hope that I'm learning some lessons, because I'm still just like, I'm just data collecting. I'm just data collecting all the fucking time. Even when I'm in a relationship with you for a long period of time, I'm just data collecting. It's like, and this makes me feel like I'm always in control, even when you think that you're getting one over on me. I know that you're lying and you're bullshit, but I'm not saying anything because I don't want to get into a fight and I don't want to break up with you at this time. There's a reason why I'm staying with you. I'm not staying with you because I have to, I want to, and there's a reason. Now, it might be, it could be a psychological reason why I need to stay with you. It could be because I don't want to be abandoned, or I do think that I put way too much into this relationship to just let it go. It could be because of monetary reasons, like if I'm living with you and I can't just pack up my shit and leave, especially if I have no place to go, but there will be a plan. Believe me, the more you fuck with me, there's going to be a plan of escape. It's just when. So, and then if you're with a toxic person and they're giving you intermittent reinforcement and breadcrumbing you along the way, I like that. I like having the intermittent reinforcement. I like when you treat me well. I like that. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to, okay, that's a lie. I was going to say, even though that I have a plan of escape, I can still just put that on the back burner and writing out the good time that we're having right now. I can compartmentalize as well. I can put away things that are bad about the relationship and just write out the good right now. And this is why you'll also see me be very much, in love with you in this moment, talking about the future with you. And then in the next moment, if you trigger me, I'm done with you forever. I know it's fucking weird, and you're never going to understand that if you can't do that, if your brain doesn't do that on its own. It's a protective thing, like the fucking door going down, the fucking blast doors in Star Wars going down. You're shooting at me, Shazam, and I'm going to make my fucking escape. Now, I'm probably went off topic here, there, and everywhere, but I hope that this was somewhat helpful. Tell me how you feel when you put on the rose-colored glasses. Tell me how you feel. Let's tell me what you're thinking. Tell me if you're thinking that, well, this isn't going to happen to me. Do you think like I do? Like this was a past thing this person's talking about, which means they're aware. But when you're dealing with a mental health issue in somebody, we're fucking just raw dogging life, doing everything automatically, and we're not caring about your feelings due to low empathy, So, yeah, that's how I feel. It's like I can tell you all these things about me, but I don't know if they're going to come up or when. And this is probably what fucks you guys up, because you're thinking that everything is planned. There are so many unconscious things that I was even surprised to learn about myself when I started my channel 3 years ago. Okay? So, anyway, life is an adventure, yo. Let's manifest good things for each other. Okay. And become more aware. Journal. All right. I hope that was helpful. Have a great day. Namaste.